Imagine losing everything you've ever owned because your home flooded. Imagine losing a loved one to a natural disaster, or losing your job because your employer can't afford to pay your wages due to the damage. This is the reality for people residing in coastal cities across the world. Every year, sea levels rise just a little bit more. To the average person, a 15-centimeter increase in the global mean sea level over the last century might not seem too damaging. However, to experts, this is devastating. So what's causing our water levels to rise? Who's to blame for the losses that people are experiencing across the world as a result of these changes? The simple answer is climate change. There are two main explanations for this occurrence: melting ice from glaciers and thermal expansion. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, defines thermal expansion as seawater warms up, it expands, increasing the volume of the global ocean and producing thermospheric sea level rise. The common denominator between these two concepts? The increasing of Earth's temperature, more commonly known as global warming. Let's take a look at what's causing the Earth to heat up. Global warming occurs when greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere and absorb sunlight and solar radiation that have bounced off of the Earth's surface. Normally, this radiation would escape into space, but these gases can stay in the atmosphere for years or even centuries, trapping the radiation and thus causing the planet to get hotter. This is known as the greenhouse effect. The Kyoto Protocol covers 6 greenhouse gases. Of these 6, the 3 of primary concern are carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, since they are so closely related with human activities. Since the post-war era, fossil fuel use has increased by about 5% per year, resulting in an increase in greenhouse gases being released into the atmosphere and thus a rise in global temperature. A study done by researchers at NASA's GISS has revealed that since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, Earth's average global temperature has risen by about 0.8 degrees Celsius. Now you might be thinking, 0.8 degrees, so what? This is so significant because it takes an enormous amount of heat to warm all the oceans, atmosphere, and land by that much. To put it in perspective, a 2 degrees Celsius drop in global temperature has caused the Earth to plunge into the Little Ice Age many years ago. Now just imagine what a 2-degree increase could do. As the temperature of Earth continues to rise as a result of global warming, the glacial ice will continue to melt, and the volume of the sea's water will continue to expand. What does this mean? Sea levels will continue to rise. At this point, you might be asking yourself, so what if sea levels are rising? 15 centimeters in the last 100 years seems like nothing. The devastating consequences include storm surges, flooding, population displacement, habitat loss, death, damage to infrastructure, water contamination, wasted agriculture, loss of money, and the list goes on and on. The United Nations has reported that since 1995, floods have killed over 157,000 people and have affected more than 2.3 billion people around the world. Millions of people have been displaced from their homes, various species have been killed or are now endangered, billions of dollars have been spent in repairing infrastructure. It just doesn't stop. And this is all caused by rising sea levels. So how can we prevent these tragedies? There are so-called band-aid solutions, such as reinforcing beaches, building bulkheads, and erecting breakwalls to avoid flooding due to rising sea levels. But what about sustainable solutions? The Natural Resources Defense Council suggests various ways to stop global warming through the reduction of greenhouse gases. Some of these include powering your home with renewable energy, weatherizing your home, using energy-efficient appliances, reducing water waste, reducing meat consumption, and driving fuel-efficient vehicles. The IPCC has projected that sea levels can rise anywhere between 70 centimeters and 137 centimeters by the year 2100. The biggest factor affecting this number is greenhouse gas emissions. There you have it. All we have to do to stop sea levels from rising is reduce the amount of greenhouse gases we emit into our atmosphere. Working against the effects of global warming will reduce natural disasters, thus saving money and saving lives. So what will you do to reduce the effects of global warming? What actions will you take to limit greenhouse gases emitted into the atmosphere? The future of our Earth is in your hands.